As we have completed the benefits of work study, today we are going to cover what are the procedures of work study and what is method study. Okay, let's start with procedures of work study. So basically, every work study has done in the several steps which are as follow. Number one is select the job or the process or the operation to be studied. First of all, we have to know that which kind of processes or study we are going to apply in the production process. So we have to know which job we are going to check or work study we are going to evaluate or workers in particular organization. Second is record all the relevant facts about the job or process by using suitable charting techniques. In the second step, after the selection of particular unit, we will go for maintain a proper record of each and every worker working in production unit, how much time he is taking to completion of one production, okay, in one day or as given time to them. Next one is to examine critically all the recorded facts, questioning the purpose, place, sequence, person, and the mean of doing the job or process. In this step, what we do, we have to critically maintain a record of what is the fact, or we can say what is the actual time has been taken by a particular worker, what are the questioning of the purpose, or we can say what are the purpose of this production process, or at what place the workers are doing the work, what is the proper process or methods he is going to apply, and how many persons are already working on this particular process or job. Next one is develop the best methods under the prevailing circumstances. In this step, we will develop a particular method to examine or analyze a particular process. Next one is measure the work content, what kind of content we are using, okay, and establish the standard time. To standard time has for the establishment, that is it is a particular time period in which the work is appropriately done by the particular worker. One measurement, or we can say it is a work measurement technique, we have to check the standard time of every particular worker working in the organization. Next one is define the new methods for the job or process. In this step, we will check that which kind of process or methods we are using to assign a job, or which have already assigned for a worker. Install the new methods as standard practice. If the method is not efficient, which you are using, then you have to start another method. Okay. Next one is maintain a new method for the job process. Which new method you have applied, so you have to maintain for a long purpose so that it will give you the best to best solutions. Next is what is method study. It is clearly known by the name that some kind of processes or methods we are using in the study of a particular production units. So method study is a scientific technique of observing, recording and critically examining the present method of performance. What is method study? Method study is a scientific technique of observing, recording, and critically examining the present method of performing a task or job or operation with the aim of improving the present method and developing a new or better method. Okay, we can take an example of a particular car company, or we can say Maruti Suzuki. It works on some kind of methods. Okay, what kind of method he is using. But if the method is not effective for maintaining the process, then this company will apply another method. Okay, if the method is slow, we can say very time taking, or the machinery is very not that much effective, so he will check the machinery, and if we will send for the evaluation of this machine. Another machine we have to install and start the process. If the workers are slow, so we have to, for the workers, we have to establish another method. Okay, so method study is a scientific technique. We can say it's a scientific technique in which we are using statistical methods, or can say some calculations to observe, record, and critically examining the present method, okay, of performance to job or task, and operating with the aim of improving the present methods and developing a new. As per the comparison, or as per the checking of present method, we can develop another better method, so that we can give a better efficiency for the production. It can also be defined as a systematic recording and critical examining of existing and proposal method of doing work. Yes, we can say that a systematic recording and critical examining of existing method, we can propose a method of doing work and involve easier or more effective methods and reducing cost. After the evaluation, after the analyzing of already working method, we can easily analyze, we can easily initiate for the next method, which can reduce the cost of particular processes. Okay. Next one is objective of method study. There are some basic objectives for making or for doing the method study. So, to study the existing proposed method of doing any job, operation, or activity. Basically, the first objective is that we are doing the work, we are doing to calculate the time of a particular job has been done through the micro motion or nano motion, or we can use the cameras for that. So actually we will calculate the existing proposed method. Next one is to develop any improved method. If the method is slow, or machinery or if the machine is slow or worker is slow, so obviously production will be slow down, and we can say it will take more time and the cost will be high. To improve productivity and to reduce operating cost, because worker is doing slow work, so the operating cost will be high. Suppose we can take an example in the infrastructure companies. A particular project has given to the workers that make this building in 1 month. Okay. So, and every day the timing of a worker will be 9 a.m. to the 6 p.m. Okay. Worker is taking full time, but that if he is slow, or we can say he is taking full on time, and but the efficiency is not that much high, and he is taking every material for the production process, we can say infrastructure process. So we have to check that. The supervisor will check that the workers are doing good or not, because they have only 1 month time. So if the first day method is not efficient, then they will apply another worker to that place and send this person to another place to evaluate actual method or actual time. Next one is to reduce excessive material handling or movement, and thereby reduce fatigue to the workman. If we have a proper machines for the material handling and movement of the raw material, then thereby the fatigue of worker or men, workers who are working, can be reduced. We can say the fatigue means, we can say lethargic body is due to the material handling. If the person is already tired, so that will not efficient worker for the next operation. So it's mandatory to do the material handling through the machineries or the another workers for material handling. Do not overburden the workers. Next one is to improve utilization of the resources. Yeah, we have already discussed through the if the machineries of material handling and we can say we are properly utilizing the workers or efficiently we are using the resources, the productivity will be high. Next one is to eliminate wastefulness and inefficient motions. Basic thing of method study is we have to reduce wastefulness or we have to eliminate wastefulness on a particular process and we have to work on the inefficient motions. Those motions which are very slow, so we have to work. Okay. Next one is what are the advantages of method study? So these are some advantages on which we can get that the benefits have been done through the method study. Number one is work simplification. Through the method study, we easily can minimize the work or we can simplify the work of every particular production unit. Next is improved working method. Through the applying good working methods, we can improve the process. It can improve equipment design because we are already checked that the workers are efficiently working or not. So we will install some different kinds of equipments or for material handling so that workers' efficiency will be high. Better material handling and lesser material handling cost. Next is less fatigue to the operator. Yes, this is also a very important advantage of method study that we are actually checking that the worker is utilize resources or so we can check that person will less fatigue. Okay. Next is highly safety to the workers. Yes, we can give a safely working environment for the workers through the method study. Next is higher job satisfaction for workmen. Yes, through the machineries, if machineries are good working, or we know that cannot harm to the workers, so the job satisfaction, or we can say the working environment is good. It will give the prolonged satisfaction to the workers, and they will do the work with the motivation. Next is optimum utilization of all the resources. It means here we see that uh, all the resources are properly utilized or not. Okay. Next is the procedure. Through which procedure we do the method study. Number one is select the work to be studied. First of all, we have to select particular work. Next is record all the relevant facts and information. Next is examining the records fact critically. Examine each and every step, uh, like which data you have collected or which information you have collected. Check it again so that it will not create any hazard afterward. Develop the improved method which you have already applied that can better that can give you better result or not. So it is not, if it is not giving you a better result or it is not up to the mark, so you have to develop another method. Next one is installing the improved methods in three phases: planning, arranging and implementing phase. Here we see that installment of the improved methods will in three ways: planning, arranging, and implementing. Next one is maintain the new method. which you have already made. We can say you have initiated or evaluated a new method, so you have to properly maintain this particular method. Next topic is work measurement. How can we measure a work done by the particular worker? How much time he is taking, or how many units he is producing? Okay, we can check through the input which is he is taking, and what are the output he is giving to us. So, work measurement may be defined as a technique applied to determine the amount of time necessary for a qualified worker to perform a particular task. It means we are working, or we can it is a technique which is which is using to determine the worker is qualified or not, or is he doing the work efficiently in particular time. Next is, it measures the jobs, task or subtask in a selected work in term of time taken to complete that job. Means it will measure that job through this method. What are the tasks has given or assigned to this worker, or what are the time he is taking. Next one is, this help in increasing the productivity of the workers by measuring the speed of doing a job. Yeah, the speed of doing a job is proper or not. Okay, if the worker is slow, or he is doing in a full on stoppage, he's stopped at different particular steps, so the work will be delayed. So these are the objective of work measurement. How we can do our work properly, measure the particular workers. So these are the objectives. Number one is improve planning and control of activities or operations. So first of all, we have to check, or we can say we have to improve our planning uh, for the work measurement, and what are the activities and operations uh, they have to plan. Next one is more efficient planning of manpower of the plant. Here we are going for the planning of manpower, efficiently planning. Next is uh, reliable indicates of for labor performance. Actually, it is work measurement work for the checking a labor performance. So, should be reliable. Reliable basis for labor cost control. If the labor production cost is very high, so that will create a problem for us. So we have to control, or we can say the reduce the labor cost. So it gives a reliable basis to reduce the labor cost control. Next is reliable basis for sound incentives scheme. Yes, it gives us a basis for incentive schemes. If the worker is doing overtime, or we can say he has completed his work on time, so it's necessary to give some incentives to that kind of worker, so that he will be motivated to do, or we can say for maintain his efficiency for long term. So these are some benefits of work measurement. Number one, to develop a basis for comparing alternate methods by establishing the work contained in each method of doing the job. For work measurement, we develop a comparing alternative method. If we have two kind of method, it is all one is already working, and second we have already prepared. If this is not working properly, we have to apply another method. So we have always have a alternate solutions for production delay, to solve the production delay. Next one is to prepare realistic work schedules by accurate assessment of human work. Here we will easily rectify, we easily found that the work is or schedules are accurate or not, if the worker's efficiency is proper or not. Next one is to set standards or performance for labor utilization by establishing the labor standards for an for an element of work. Here we set some performance standard for the workers that you have to use your skills, you have to use your brain, you can use your you can say your efficiency or utilize your proper skills or attributes to maintain this kind of performance. You have to reach on the standard. Okay, to compare actual time taken by the worker with the allowed time for proper control of the labor. Now, if we have given or we have assigned a job to the worker from 9 to 5, you have to work on that time. Okay, this is the allowed time given by the company which he can take. Okay, but the actual time of the worker has given only 5 hours. Okay, rest 3 hours he has wasted. So that we can say that he is not a efficient worker. Next one is to assist in labor cost estimation. Here, through the work measurement, we can easily estimate the labor cost after using the time, through the time or through the particular inputs or utilization of resources. So, this is the procedure of work measurement. How we can do work measurement. Number one is break the job into elements. Okay, uh, here we do different breakage to the particular production process to check, or we can say to check per element. Each element have some persons. Each element have some parts, or we can say personnel involved in a job. Next one is record the observed time for each element by work measurement techniques. Through the work measurement techniques, we will record the observed time of each element. Which element we have already made, we will check these elements either work has done in a proper manner or not. Next one is established elemental time values by extending observed time into normal time for each element for applying a rating factor. Through the rating factor, we can easily, we can say, element time value by extending observed time into normal time. We can easily compare the observed time and normal time given to the worker. Next one is assess relaxation allowance for personal need and physical and mental fatigue. Here we will give the relaxation allowance to the personnel so that it is necessary for the mind and for the body to take a small relax, or we can say to take a reappearance or uh, to relaxation of our body. Okay, so that will also included in the work measurement. Next is add the relaxation allowance uh, time to normal time. Here we will add that particular allowance time with the normal time for each element to arrive at the work contained. Next is determine the frequency of occurrence of each element in the job. Is the work is repeating or not? Is the work is proper going step by step? So we will determine the frequency of that particular occurrence, or multiply the work content of each element by its frequency and add up the time to arrive at the work content for the job. Next step is add contingency allowance, if any, to arrive at the standard time to go to the job. Here we will add some contingency allowance. If any to arrive at the standard time to do the job. Okay. Next is what are the techniques of work measurement? Number one is time study. Time study is concerned with the determination of the amount of time required to perform a unit of work. Time study says that actually how much time is required to do a particular job, and actually how much time is taken to the workers for the completion of every task. Okay, these are the procedures of time study. Number one, select the job to be studied. Which job you are going to study, it is very required for time study. Next one is select the worker to be studied. Here we will check individual worker, okay, individual working time. So select the worker on which you are going to study. Next is conducting stopwatch time study. Here we use a stopwatch to using how much workers time consumption. Okay, next is obtain and record all information through the particular time study. We have to maintain a proper record, like in second we have to calculate all single seconds in particular work measurement, not only hours and minutes. Here we will calculate a single second also. Record the method of doing the job. Here we will record each and every method to do this job. Next is analyze the recorded information. Now we will analyze the all everything which has done. We will analyze the recorded information. Next method of work measurement is synthetic method. Method is a technique of work measurement for building up the time required to do a job at a different defined level of performance by synthesizing or totaling the element time values obtaining from previous time studies on the other job containing similar job element or from standard data or synthetic data to build up the standard. It means time work measurement, we can say synthetic method says that building up the time required to do the job at a defined level of performance by synthesizing or totaling the elemented time value obtained from the previous studies. Here we will say that we will compare the previous time used by the worker with the current time, and then we will synthesize that actually how much time is taken, we can say how much time is needed for a particular worker for doing this job. You can easily analyze the worker is efficient worker or not through this process. Summarily, this is the expressed as R is equal to P upon A, where this is the formula of synthetic analysis. R is equal to performance rating factor. Here we will assign some factors, performance rating factors to the worker, that he is how much work he is completed in how much time. So as per the time taken to the worker, we can give some rating. Okay. Next is P. What is the P in this? R equals to performance rating factor, P equals to predetermined motion time standard. It means before the work, we can say in the previous work which has done by the worker, we will check that how much time he is taking in particular task. Okay. Next is A. A is equal to average actual time or observed for the same elements in the minutes. Here we can easily calculate the R. R is equal to performance rating factor. Next is analytical estimation. Analytical estimating is a technique of work measurement is used to determine the time values for jobs having long and non-repetitive operations. Here, we can easily determine the jobs having long time or having, we can say, uh, jobs having time values for jobs having long and non-repetitive operations. Here we will calculate, we can say we have checked that what kind of operations are non-repetitive or one time, we can say performance. One time performance or long term performance without stoppage is very good for the production processes. The time values are determined by using synthetic data. Here we can use this through the synthetic analysis, okay, or on the basis of past experiences of the work study engineers. Next method is predetermined motion time system. The predetermined motion time system is defined as the work measurement techniques by which normal or basic times are established for basic human motions, and these time values are used to build up the time for a job at a defined level of the performance. What is said by this? It means here we will use the techniques which normal or basic time are established for basic human motions. Through the human motions or working motions, we can establish a standard time or a normal time for the workers. And these time values are used to build up the time for a job at a defined level of the performance. And we can easily we can easily define that for achievement of that kind of standard or that kind of performance, we need that kind of workers or this type of worker skill are used. And second thing, how much time to be needed for this operation. We can take the example, a person type one page at computer. We know that he can type a page in 20 minutes only. Okay, so we know that for calculation of the 5 pages, he will take 100 minutes. So we will allot the 100 minutes to a person that do the job in and complete the task in 100 minutes. Next one is next method of work measurement is work sampling. Work sampling is a work measurement technique that randomly sample the work of one or more employees, okay, at periodic intervals to determine the proportion of total operations that is accounted for in one particular activity. So here we do the work sampling. Work sample is a work measurement techniques that randomly samples the work of one or more employees at periodic interval. Here we will collect some samples, or we can say the workers or employees, and we will check up the efficiency of the worker in periodic interval. Okay, we will make some intervals, and then we check that how much time has allotted and how what are the products are going to produce, and is the worker is going efficiently working or not. Determine the proportion of total operations that is accounted for one particular activity. It means there are different work has allotted to a single worker. So at the time of the different periods, we will reach in the morning. The worker is doing another thing. In a afternoon, the person is doing another thing, and in the evening he is doing another thing. So we have to check that different intervals that the work is going in a proper manner or not. So this is the work sampling formula. You can see that n is equal to z square p 1 minus p upon e square. Here we can easily calculate the proper number of observation required for work sampling study. where n is equals to number of observation required for work sampling study. Next one is C. C is equals to constant having value of 1, 2, 3 corresponding to the confidence level of 68%, 95% and 99%. Here 68 rely to the 10% error, 95 rely to 5% error and 99 rely to 1% error accordingly. The point 3 is P. What is P? Percentage of occurrence of an activity. Here P says occurrence of an activity. Or 1 minus P is also called Q. S is equal to relative error. Okay. And E is equal to S into P absolute error. Next one is formula of formulas of the work measurement. So these are some formula given on the screen. You can easily calculate your rating factors or the time required by the single worker. Number one is a rating factor, or you can say a performance rating factor. It has been calculated through the rating of observed worker divided by rating of qualified workers. Second is normal time or basic time. So normal time or basic time is calculated by observed time multiplied by rating factor. Here OT is multiplied by observed rating or divided by standard rating. Okay. Rating factor is divided by observed rating or standard rating, as we have already seen. Next one is standard time. Standard time can be calculated through the normal time plus all relevant allowances. Number 4, allowed time. Allowed time can be calculated through standard time or policy allowances. So this is a chart has taken by a book in which you can see that this is a particular process through which we can easily calculate how much the observed time, how much PFA, how much PA, and what is the RA and CA and SA and POA. This is the overall intervals, or we can say overall uh, process through which we can easily calculate the particular work measurement. OT is in this is called observed time. Here we can add performance rating factor. So this is called PRA. Next is PA. PA means process allowance. Next is RA. RA is relaxation allowance has been taken to the worker. Next is SA is called special allowance. Next is AT. AT is called allowed time, overall allowed time. Next is BT. BT is called basic time. This one. Next is POA. POA is called policy allowance. CA is called contingency allowance. This one. Next is ST. ST is called standard time. You can see from this to this is a standard time, and this is the allowed time. So these are some numericals on through which we can easily calculate that how much time is needed, what are the standard time, what are the normal time, what's the allowed time. We can easily calculate. Let's see, a job has been divided into 5 elements. The time of each element and respectively ratings are given below. Okay, so these are the elements. It means these are some a job is divided into 5 intervals or elements. Here, every particular element has taken the observed time in zero point 0.7, 0.8, 1.3, zero point 0.5 and 1.2. Here you can see these are the rating factors as given by the particular task: 80, 100, 120, 90 and 100. Calculate the normal time and standard time for each element and for the job if allowance is 15%. Okay, if the allowance is given 15% for each and every element, so how can you calculate the normal time and standard time? Let's see. For element 1, first of all, for element 1, observed time is zero point 0.7 and rating factor is 80. Okay, now the formula is of normal time is equal to observed time into rating factor. So observed time is zero point 0.7 and rating factor is 80. That has been divided by, that will be divided by 100 because it is in percentage, so we will divide by 100. So the normal time will be 0.6, 0.56, because the normal time and is equal to the standard time, so this is 0.56. Now, the allowance factor. The allowance factor we use for 0.56 multiply by 100 upon 100 minus 11. So, the allowance factor is 0.629. Next one is normal time for element 2. As per the element 1, we will calculate the element 2 timing. Normal time zero point 0.8 is given in the particular table, and 100 is the rating factor. So this is zero point 0.8. Next is standard time, zero point 0.5 into 100 upon 100 is the rating factor, and 15% allowance is minus to the this rating factor. So it is 0.94. Now for element 3. For element 3, normal time is 1.3 multiplied by 120 upon 100 is 1.56. Same, we can calculate the standard time. Okay. For element 4, we can use same formula, and for element 5 we can use the same formula. So the normal time of the job, we can say overall, if we add the normal time, it is 4.57, and standard time for the job total is 5.347. We will easily calculate the normal time and standard time taken by the person. Uh, we have easily calculate the standard time and normal time through the formulas. This is another question. In this, the observed time for an element is 1.2 minutes. The face rating for an element is 120%, and the job difficulty is found to be 30%. Now, find normal time of an element. Also find standard time at the allowance of 10%. Okay, 10% is the allowance is given, 1.2 minutes of each element, or the pace rating of an element is 120%, and job difficulty is found to be 30%. Now what we will do? The base time is 1.2 multiplied by 120 divided by 100. So this is our base time is being calculated. Next is, what is normal time? Normal time is equal to 1.2 multiplied by 120 upon 100, and we will add the difficult timing of 130%. We will add the 100 to 30. So it will be 130. 130 upon 100. So this is 1.872. Next is standard time. How we will calculate it? 1.872 multiplied by 110 upon 100 minus 10. So it will be 2.08. So we will easily calculate it through the formulas. Another question. This is, the element is observed to be carried out 1.8 minutes. If given pace rating is 110, the secondary adjustment is second. Now 20%. Find the time on any fair day if 0.2 minutes per element is given an allowance. 0.2% is allowance is given. So now what we will do? First of all, we have to calculate the base time. After the base time, through the base time, we will calculate the normal time, and after the normal time we can calculate the standard time. So this will be the sequence to calculate every each and every thing which is given which has been asked to us. Okay, next topic at what we are reaching is productivity. Basically, we are working for the productivity in a production unit. So, let's talk about what is productivity. Productivity in production and operation management is a critical measure of how effectively resources are utilized to produce goods and services. So here we say that how much inputs we are using and how much production we are giving on the using of these inputs are called productivity. If it reflects the efficiency and effectiveness of the production process and can significantly impact an organization's overall performance and competitiveness. So basically, there are a number of workers working in the organization, and everyone is responsible, or we can say a duty has been assigned to different workers to achieve the target productivity. Okay, so what is the standard productivity? uh, Through the productivity measures we can easily calculate that the given in the given time as we reach to the productivity or not. Okay, here are some key aspects to consider. The definition and meaning of the productivity. Productivity is typically defined as the ratio of output to the input. It can be measured at various levels, including individual productivity, team productivity, or organizational levels. Next is common productivity matrices include labor productivity, output per labor hour, capital productivity, and total factors productivity. We can calculate through the productivity measures individual productivity, team productivity, organizational productivity, or labor productivity, capital productivity, and total factor productivity. These are some factors that will affect the productivity. Number one is technology. Technology advancement can increase productivity by automatic tasks or improving precision and reducing production time. Workforce. If we have skilled and motivated employees, it tends to be more productive. Training and development, and as well as proper incentive system can enhance productivity. This is the processes, efficient production process such as lean manufacturing and just-in-time system can minimize waste and optimize resource use. Material. If the high quality material are using, that can reduce the defects and rework, thereby increasing productivity. Next is management practices. Effective management, including good planning, organization, and control, play a crucial role in enhancing productivity. These are some challenges in measuring and improving productivity. A company, when going to calculate their productivity or measuring the productivity, these kind of challenges occurs. Uh, we can say can create barriers in the measuring. Number one is data collection. Accurate and comprehensive data collection is essential for the measuring productivity but can be challenging. If we are working accurately and the data is accurate, the productivity measure will be accurate. But the data is not accurate and it is full on bias, so that can create a problem with the overall productivity measures. Next is dynamic environment. Rapid changes in technology, market conditions, and customer preferences required continuous adaptation. Dynamic environment can also is a challenge to measure the productivity. Next is balance quality and quantity. Increased productivity should not compromise the quality of the output. So, quality measure is very important. If you are increasing your productivity, you have to check the quality. It is reached to the quality measures, or it is appropriate for the quality measures or not. So, quality is also a challenge when we are measuring the productivity of a particular unit. Okay. Now, how can we calculate the productivity in the organization? Productivity in production typically involves measuring the ratio of output to the input. So, productivity is equal to the output divided by the input. So these are the single factor productivity, or we can say it is a SFP. What is single factor productivity? It means when we are checking the each and every different resource we are using, we can calculate as per each and every material, or each and every aspect, like what kind of labor we are using. So we can easily calculate labor productivity. Machine is efficient or not, so we can check the machine productivity and material productivity. So how can we calculate the labor productivity? Labor productivity is equal to the output upon labor hours. Through the labor hours and the output has given to the labor hours, we can calculate the labor productivity. Now, what is machine productivity? Machine productivity is equal to the output upon machine hours. The machine, how much time is taken to the machine, we can calculate, and how much the output it is produced, that can be calculated through the output upon machine hours. Next one is material productivity. Material productivity is equal to the output divided by the material used. Here it is a multi-factor productivity. When we are going to analyze different factors and different factors which impact on the productivity, so we can check through the MFP. This is called multi-factor productivity, and also known total factor productivity. It is a measure that productivity of multiply inputs combined. It provides a more comprehensive view of productivity by considering various inputs simultaneously. The formula of MFP is equal to output divided by weighted sum of the inputs. So here it is an example to calculate the productivity. Suppose a factor produce 1000 unit of output using the following inputs: 100 labor hours, 50 machine hours, and $2,000 worth of the material. Now, if the weight of these inputs are as follows: number one, labor is zero point 0.5, machine zero point 0.3, material zero point 0.2. The MFA calculated would be the weighted sum of the input is equal to 100 multiply 0.5 plus 50 multiply 0.3 and 2000 multiply 0.2. The weighted sum of the inputs is 465. Now we can calculate MFP. MFP is equal to 1000 divided by 465, and now this is the actual MFP, which is calculated through these particular formulas, and this is 2.15. It means the factory produced approximately 2.15 units of output per weighted unit of inputs. I hope it is clear to you. Thank you everyone. So here are some examples of measuring the productivity. So, so here are some examples of productivity. How can we calculate the productivity? So a manufacturing plant produces 10,000 units of a product in a month. The inputs are as follows.